What's going down, y'all? Your boy is back on the grind one more time. This time, man, I need a break from the cars, man. So I'm just gonna bring you something a little bit different. And I've had this actually on the channel before and actually get good response from it. I have a lot of people that reach out to me, be like, hey, I have that same jet ski, and I'm wondering if you can help me with this, and this, and I'm definitely no jet ski guru, but you guys know me, I do all the stuff myself, or as much as I can myself. What I've been trying to do with this one is over the years just clean it up. I probably had it about 3 seasons now, and it definitely didn't look like this. We cleaned it up a lot, and it was actually in good shape when we got it. It's a 94 Seadoo SP and 2-stroke motor, and it actually gets up, man. It's super light. It's like very, very, very jumpy in the water, and it catches waves like crazy. So it's actually running pretty good. It ran pretty good when we got it, but I tore into the motor just a little bit. I replaced the valve and got a new like valve cover. I forgot exactly what it's called, but it's basically the cover that covers the valve, and I rebuilt the carburetor and put new gas lines in it and cleaned it all up, and it actually looks really, really good, and it runs pretty good for what it is. Everything else is pretty much the same, except visually the seat used to be this color here. The seat was pretty old, so we got this one here, purple and black, to match the Seadoo. This is all original. So if you guys didn't know, I call this Miami Vice. Miami Vice. So Miami Vice is back and alive. This cover here underneath is actually, again, this green color, but over time they just get weird and sticky and stained and all that, so they make a cover for that, so I got that. My girl actually bought this, and then this I think was also this green color as well, turquoise color, so we painted that black with some waterproof, rust resistant type of paint. It's just a plastic, but we just painted over it. So everything else is pretty much as you see. Oh, these were pink, I think, and I painted those black because it was faded. But you can see how it was faded here. You see how that's faded? It pretty much looked like that all over. Everything else is pretty much as is. It did not have a handle here. I got this off eBay. It was a little bit of a challenge to get in and out of this thing, especially being that it's stable, but when you have one person on it, it's good. When you have 2 people on it, it's pretty unbalanced. So it's a bit of a challenge to try to get in and out of the water without this. So I got this off of eBay and I installed it myself. It was kind of challenging because there's no holes for it, and you have to basically line them up and drill them yourself. So I was able to do that. This was pink, and I repainted it like a hot pink, and I think that came out pretty good. So I think Miami Vice is a suitable name for it. Yeah, so I went ahead and took the seat off. Just a little 2-stroke. It's clean for what it is. I mean, most of the time you see these engines and they're all just dirty and gummed up and nasty, but it is super, super, super clean in here. I mean, everywhere. If you take this little baffle off, it's really clean under there. And before, when I got it, it wasn't this clean. It was all oiled up and everything. I did take the top plate off here, which exposes the pistons, and I just wanted to see how clean it was under there. And the pistons were clean, man. I mean, a lot of times you see them kind of salty and rusted and whatnot from people taking them in salt water. However, that's not the case for these ones. Even the spark plugs that were in it were really clean as well too. So it runs pretty good. The only thing is a lot of people, I guess, delete the oil. I forgot exactly what it's called, but this is self-mixing, so you have to put oil in it and gas. It mixes it itself, but a lot of people will delete the oil part of it, and that way you just mix your own gas and put it in. I guess it's supposed to be more efficient, but I haven't got to that point yet. Really not that important to me, but it is what it is. Who knows, I might attack it at some point. But what I'm thinking about doing is possibly getting this season out of it and then maybe selling it next year to maybe buy a better one, or maybe like a small boat or something. So who knows, y'all, we'll see. And also added a primer as well, and it just had a little bit of a issue sometimes starting since it's carbureted, and this primer actually helps it out a lot. So all I have to do is give it a few pulls to prime it, and it usually just starts right up. So what I wanted to show you guys is I actually had to recoat the bottom of it. gel coating on it. So this is a specific type of gel coat for water that they use on boats and all that kind of stuff. Well, on the front of it here, I'm gonna have to lift it up. The coating is all gone and the fiberglass is exposed, and it's from people over the years beaching it on the rocks and sand and whatnot. And what I did is bought some gel coat. They recoated a big section underneath, and so that's what this video is about. So that way, if somebody else is out there and they have this ski or they want to try to attack this themselves, they can. I have no bodywork experience at all. It was a pretty simple process, and it's just really time consuming because you have to wait like a day or two to have it dry, and then you have to sand it down and repeat the process and mask it off again and again and again. But at the end of the day, it worked because I took it out already. It held up great. So let me go ahead and show you the process. So what this is I did some research, and you can actually get some gel coat, and this is similar to what is on the jet ski now. However, this coat has an additive in it, a wax. So it has a wax material, so when it dries, then it forms that wax over the top, and then you're pretty much good to go, versus applying it in 2 different steps. So I got this. It wasn't too much money, but it's probably like 40 bucks for the can, and I actually used probably about 1/3 of it on it, and I'll show you outside here in a moment what I did. And then you have to get the hardener, the additive, this MEKP. But they said this stuff definitely put on your eye protective wear, because if that gets in your eyes, it'll blind you within seconds, supposedly. So I wasn't messing around. I got on my safety glasses and everything. As far as adding this hardener, this MEKP to this, it tells you here on the can here, so to give you different options. If you have 1 ounce of gel coat, you're supposed to add 10 drops of MEKP, 1 quart, and then it goes to a gallon as well too. So it breaks it down how much you should add. I think in warmer temperatures you can add just a few drops less if you want. In colder temperatures you're supposed to add a little bit more. All right, y'all, so I'm in the back here under this awning here, so it's probably a little bit dark. I apologize. But what I did first is there was actually a little spot back here where it was chipped, and so I used that as my test spot before I really hit the big areas, and it actually turned out really good. So what I did is I filled the chip in first. I applied like 1 to 2 coats there, and then I just applied all the way around it. And I don't even know if you guys can see it, but I'll take you up front here so you can see a little bit more. But again, I use this as my test spot, and then once it finally dried and I had all the coatings on, I hit it with some 400 grit, and then I hit it with a 1,000 grit, I think it was. And I was gonna go up to 15 to 2,000 if it wasn't getting smooth, but man, that's really smooth. Then I hit it with some rubbing compound around the area, and then I hit it with some polish, and it turned out really good. I'm gonna show you this section right here. So there's areas where I had a big chip here. It had small little minor chips there, so I kind of just touched those areas up. Take you under the jet ski here, and I kind of show you the bulk of what I've been doing. And this is it right here. So you can tell I've been putting in some work. And again, this is my first time doing any type of body work on anything really. I guess it is somewhat of body work. But, you know, I had to do some sanding and some filling in and things like that. But I think it worked pretty good, y'all. What I was really trying to do is this whole area from here up, all the way up to here, about this wide, was exposed of, the gel coat was totally gone. It was like, this is the gel coating white, and this right here was brown, and that was the fiberglass material. So that's what I wanted to cover and get fixed, because I didn't want it exposed to water. Also, there was like chunks missing and stuff back here. Really deep gashes that was in the fiberglass, so I wanted to fill that in. You can still barely see a little bit of a dent inside, but I filled it in as much as I could with some of that gel coating. And that was suggested from basically some directions that I followed. Is you could basically fill up the gel coat and keep filling it in until it was filled up. Unless you wanted to kind of refiberglass it, I guess you could do that too. But I didn't want to go in depth that much. This is supposedly supposed to protect it from the water and just general riding. Beach these jet skis up on shore, whether if it's rocky or sand or mixed with rocks and sand or any type of debris where they kind of sit, and the jet ski actually sits right here, and when the water hits it, the jet ski obviously moves, and over time it just scratches and scrapes it and things like that. And so that's kind of where it took the brunt of the damage. And what I did is, since there was like scratches and imperfections all along the center of the bottom here, I just did this whole centerpiece. And what I did is, since the jet ski moves forward this way, I took it from a point and then I widened it all the way down. That way, if I had any sort of like lip here or any sort of like high point, if I couldn't sand it as flat as I wanted to, that, you know, water or anything like that wouldn't kind of chip away at it over time. So that way I kind of made it at a point just to do the best that I could to try to eliminate that. But you know, it's pretty good, y'all. I'll come hit it with a 400 grit, then probably an 800 grit, then I'll go to 1,000 and kind of go up to steps from there, finishing at maybe 1,500 to 2,000 depending on how smooth it is. What I did is I went ahead and took the tape off so you guys could kind of see how it looks, and I don't think it looks that bad at all. We good. It's nice and smooth. Now there is some imperfections, definitely, so don't judge me. But this whole bottom part was pretty scratched up. I mean, you could see scratches all along everywhere. So it was really hard for me to get it super smooth, especially from where the trailer is here to here. I had nowhere to really set the jet ski or take it off, and I didn't want to take it off, but it's actually really smooth. What I did is on some of the parts I used a key card and I smoothed it out to kind of get it that nice and smooth feel the best I could. On the bottom here, since it was so much area to cover, I just used a rubber, not a rubber, but like a paint roller, like a small one, and just smooth it out. And it kind of left it a little rough. And then but I figured that I'd be sanding it down. But yeah, if you ever thought that you couldn't do it, you can, and this is a great alternative. And you obviously will save the hull and save the life of the ski. All right, hope this helps somebody out there. And you know, if you have any questions, you know, definitely leave a comment, and definitely think about subscribing to my channel. Although my channel is a lot of car and automotive stuff, you know, I put stuff like this on there from time to time, the jet ski or just random items that I have. But if you love anything automotive, anything like that, definitely think about subscribing. And yeah, y'all go ahead, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, comment, and we'll see y'all later. All right, deuces.